Her face was gone. When Mariama looked into the mirror, it took her face away. I remember the night clearly. It was a night of full moon, and everything seemed unusually still. The air was thick, and the village was quieter than usual. People whispered about the cursed mirror, but no one dared to speak its name aloud. Except for Mariama. Mariama was the princess of our village, known for her beauty and grace. But there was a sadness in her eyes that no one understood. They said it was because of the mirror. The elders always warned us to stay away from it. It brings misfortune, they said. It steals what you hold dear. But Mariama, she couldn't resist. She had heard the stories, of course. How the mirror was found deep in the forest, buried under an old baobab tree, wrapped in cloth. How it was said to show your deepest desires, or your worst fears. She thought it would help her see her future. She thought it would help her understand the sadness in her heart. I was there when it happened. She had called me to her hut that night. I was her closest friend, and she trusted me. She didn't tell anyone else what she planned to do. When I entered her hut, she was sitting in front of the mirror, staring into it. The moonlight streamed through the small window, casting a pale glow on her face. "Come, sit with me," she said. Her voice was soft, almost distant. I hesitated but sat beside her. The mirror was old, its frame carved from dark wood, and the glass was cloudy, almost as if it held a mist inside. But as I looked closer, I saw something moving within it, something dark and twisted. "Mariama, we should leave this alone," I whispered. But she didn't listen. She reached out and touched the glass. The moment her fingers brushed the surface, the room grew cold. I could see her reflection, but something was wrong. Her reflection didn't move like she did. It smiled when she wasn't smiling. Its eyes were darker, hollow, like they were pulling everything in. And then, in an instant, her face in the mirror started to melt away. I tried to pull her away, but she was frozen, staring at the reflection that wasn't hers anymore. I watched in horror as the mirror took her face, leaving only a blank space where it should have been. Her eyes, her nose, her mouth, gone. All that was left was smooth, empty skin. She screamed, but the sound didn't come from her mouth. It came from the mirror, echoing back at us, louder and louder until I couldn't bear it anymore. I dragged her away, threw a cloth over the mirror, and ran out of the hut. The village heard her screams and came running, but it was too late. The mirror had taken her beauty, her identity. From that day on, Mariama was never the same. She never spoke again, never showed her face to anyone. She wore a veil, hiding the curse that had befallen her. The elders tried to destroy the mirror, but nothing worked. They buried it again, deeper in the forest, hoping no one would ever find it. But the stories remain. And the warning is clear. If you ever come across a mirror in the forest, buried under an old tree, leave it alone. No desire is worth losing yourself over. And if you hear a woman's voice calling from the mirror, run. Don't look back. Run.